Hey guys, coldbrew here. Welcome back to another raid video for 2025, going in the year strong. 2025, okay? How are you gonna play the game? It's all up to you guys. Changes are coming to the game that can be big in terms of the play style and how things go. We're gonna have free champions. We are gonna have fusions. We're gonna have shard offers, all the good stuff. But the game is trying to make money, okay? They try to make us spend. It's a big thing about this game since almost 6 years that I've been playing it. And obviously you're gonna see shard offers. Should you buy them or not, this is up to your opinion. But the point of making videos like these, where I'm now gonna be reacting to Drock saying that he's not gonna spend any money for the month of January and going forward if he doesn't see some specific changes. I want to see on what he says throughout that video, and I'll give you guys my own thoughts on that one. Before that though, yeah, by the way guys, if you are a spender, you can do whatever the heck you want in the game. I'm just saying. Going into, look at this screen. This is my own spending in the game. The last time I spent money in the game was a $20 pack. I haven't even bought the He-Man pack. This was in 2 of June 2024, then May, April. Then I had some, big spending spree during March of 2024. Not really proud of this one, but still, I am a spender. If I'm gonna consider myself, I still consider myself as a spender since I'm a content creator and I do get those packs every week. Those are worth big money. Basically, the gems and the legendary books, they keep my account alive without me having to spend. Okay, but that is also me just spending sometimes stupid amount of resources for just a shard opening video and stuff like that when I don't want to be summoning necessarily. Okay, so that is my spending. The last time I've actually spent money was 2 of June. If you consider the content creator perks, I've never stopped being a spender. But if you value those, that's about maybe $100 to $200 at best case scenario. If I'm going to show you guys some of those actually resources are not worth it anymore. Like I have 700 5-star chickens. They have zero value to the account. Honestly, like a champion trading tournament, you're not going to win because of these. Like, what am I going to be doing? Just ranking up champions randomly? I don't know. That sounds like a huge waste. Anyway, let's go and start reacting to the video. I need to hear what he says, and I'll give you guys my thoughts. But basically, by the way, guys, if you don't know Drock, he's like the biggest spender out of the creators, or at least now he was. And I do value what he's gonna say. So let's see.
In fact, this channel wouldn't even be where it is without spending. If I hadn't spent a boatload of cash on raid, this channel basically doesn't exist.
Yeah, that is true for many of the creators, is that we actually spend our own money, guys. It's not that we get those resources from raid. We actually spend our own money playing the game, especially if you're somebody who's like who wants to be a creator in this game and has already spent a little bit of money. Then you feel like, oh, if I spend more money, that's how I felt, by the way, when I first started. If I spend more money, I can make better content. It's like an excuse you give yourself that is gonna be my account. It's gonna be a strong account. Everybody's gonna love it. Doesn't work that way. We've seen free-to-play content creators, low-spend content creators who do very well, by the way. But it's still, you feel like spending a little bit, and it does affect sometimes on how your channel performs in terms of what kind of content you want to be pushing. Like maxing out He-Man, for example, day one is basically buying that pack, the advanced pack, then using resources to max him out. So that's $60 minimum right out the gate for a video, and sometimes that video might not even give you that amount of money. Maybe everybody does the same thing and that video makes maybe half of that. It really depends.
And many people wouldn't watch. So why am I not spending? Why am I actively choosing to potentially hurt my channel and not spend? Well, I've talked about this on live streams recently, because actually I haven't been spending for most of December either. But the biggest reason why is, guys, I am incredibly frustrated with where raid is at and with the 2024 that raid had. And that's not to say that there weren't good things in this year for raid. There certainly were, and I'd like to do a video looking back, and hopefully I'll do that soon. But man, it just feels like the game is in a really painful, frustrating state. And if I continue to spend, especially as a large spender, I am enabling things to not get fixed. If revenue is high, there is less of an incentive for Plarium to fix the stuff that I want to see fixed and that I've asked to be fixed and that other content creators have asked to be fixed or pointed out in some cases for literal years that I can't for the life of me understand why they haven't addressed, other than the fact that people continue to spend boatloads of money and they don't feel like they have to do anything about fixing these things.
Okay, he's starting off saying basically that if spending is gonna guide the choices of the developers in the future. So if we stop spending, is this gonna change anything? Honestly, we've tried this in the past. It's been tried in the past. I won't say we because I never started this kind of movement or whatever in the past myself. I've seen it happen. I do my own spending decisions on my own. I don't give a damn what other players do. And honestly, it doesn't change the fact that there's thousands of players in this game that spend, and the whales, if they decide not to spend, it's not going to be because of a YouTube video. It's going to be because they have similar frustrations to D-Rock on their own, because there's a reason that they made the Supreme Club in this game, because those voices are the loudest. Not me and you guys. You've seen my spending, like maybe $50 a month. they don't care about that, because when these games spend money to pick on one new player, you don't want to pick on the one player who spends $50. They want to get 1,000 players in, and hopefully one of them is going to be a whale who's going to pay off for 10,000 players, you know? So I'm just giving random numbers, by the way, just to emphasize my point.
And you could name a million different stuff. You could look at the market and be like, why is the market the same basically that it was from years and years and years ago, and it's useless for end game players, for people who have been in the ecosystem for years? Why isn't this fixed? This is less than a week of time to do this. Or you
I think I know where he's going, because we all got like the same sponsorships, and I've been playing that game, King Arthur, and they have an interesting feature in that game that's also in Watch of Realms, I think, but I've stopped playing that game because the developers for that one suck. But King Arthur, as a game, they have an interesting feature where you developed your bastion. So imagine your Guardian Ring can now be developed. Well, it can actually be developed if you consider it. So I'm going to say a different example. So the market is developed. So now level 2 market is even stronger. The Altar of Souls, level 2 Altar of Souls now maybe has shorter duration of cycles through to see more different souls in the market. So maybe level 2 of the Forge, that allows you to have a higher chance, slowly higher chance to craft some gear, or have like a small chance to craft you an additional piece of gear. The Tavern, the same thing. The Portal, maybe. The Mine, we upgraded. It's basically the only thing we can upgrade that really impacts your account. So I know where he's going to go with that.
You could look at the way that they've addressed Hydra. Like, unfortunately, this needed a fix because of how broken this team is, but the way they've chosen to go about it has been negative for the game. Or you could look at new content that's been introduced in the last year, like, for example, Siege, which should be an incredibly fun and awesome game mode and has so much potential, but is missing core features to make it something that people want to do. Like, for example, the ability to watch your clanmates do battles or replays or better in-game chat or a whole myriad of stuff. The Tavern rework not being the way that it should, not being correctly redone. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and on about stuff that could be improved in this game. And here's the thing. It's not like they haven't made quality of life improvements over the last several years. They certainly have. But they have missed so much low-hanging fruit that needs to be fixed, and they seemingly don't intend to do anything about it, at least anytime in the near future. And
I don't know about that. If I'm going to be honest, I know that the developers have their own schedule with everything, and they have things that they probably are working on right now, January 2025, to be released June. Okay. I knew about the Siege. They showed us the Siege image. They didn't tell us what it was, but they just showed us that image of the Siege last January. And when was Siege launched? I can't remember, but you get the idea, right?
And that's because, and I'm as guilty of this as anybody else, people will continue to spend. Well, you know what? I am done spending for at least January because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of not seeing legitimately well thought out new game modes launched without game-breaking bugs, for example, like Chimera, which is a brand new content piece that launched with stuff that made the entire clash unfair. And like, yes, you can go back and issue rewards after the fact, but my God, can we stop shooting ourselves in the foot with new things that are supposed to get people excited about Raid? Can we please just launch something that has no game-breaking bugs, especially in this case where they were pointed out before the game mode was even launched, and yet it was launched anyways? And the thing that frustrates me most about this is I know for a fact, from having played Raid for almost 4 years now and having followed the game and other content creators and the community and everything else, Plarium has a very talented team. They do. They have talented developers. They have extremely talented artists. They have incredible support staff. So what the hell is going wrong that it's not fully translating to the game's improvements? And it really just comes down to monetization. That's it. Whoever took over their monetization program in the last 2 years basically just said, screw it. We're gonna do everything possible in every game area possible to take more and more and more money out of our players' pockets. And hey, you know what? Kudos to them. They've been really successful at doing that, whether it was introducing mythicals or soulstones or whatever else. And I fed into it. I am 100% guilty of this, as is everybody that has spent a single dollar in this game, because one, we love the game, two, the excitement of opening shards and getting a champion or getting a great piece of gear or whatever else. That's why we come back, right? And you could maybe say it's an addiction. I'm sure for many people it is. And certainly I think at some point for me, it has been, even though I've spent less in the last year than I did the year before that. But I'm just tired of stuff not getting fixed and not getting fixed in a timely fashion. That's the thing that...
Totally agreeing when he says like things not getting fixed and adding additional layers of monetization. The biggest thing that was added into the game was the empowerment and awakenings. Those really made the jump in terms of the power of your champions compared to how it was before, where a legendary was a legendary, an epic was an epic. Now suddenly a legendary, a +4 legendary, insane. An epic can be empowered now, but it didn't used to be the case. With the souls, we could get the souls for all champions except uncommons, which also boosted the gap between uncommons. And if you guys have been following my channel, uncommons were my thing back in the day, because they gave you like the edge and try to push in certain dungeons, like trying to beat dungeons 20. Nowadays, uncommons very rarely you'll see in any content, just because of the sheer amount of champions we have, where nowadays spider, even the spider dungeon, it's doable. You'll eventually summon something with an HP burn. There's just so many champions. But way back in, years ago, HP burn was not that common. We try to build teams with Ultimate Gallic to make him work.
It really drives me crazy. We've gotten what, like 20 champion buffs over the course of this year, maybe 25. That's not enough when you have a game that has 800 champions in it. We've gotten cool features that are teased 4 months down the road. Like, please stop telling me about stuff you're going to do in 6 months and just start doing it now. And a great example of this is how they handle polymorph, right? Of course, it's my pet issue. It's the thing that pisses me off most about Raid, but they acknowledged it was an issue and took 6 months to fix it because they're trying to squeeze every single dollar out of people buying soulstones. Well, enough is enough. And so for at least the month of January, I am doing the dry January. I'm not spending a cent on this game, whether it's on shards, whether it's on the pass, the forge pass, whether it's on buying energy. And I happen to have a ton of energy saved from the last time I went crazy with it. So that's an advantage there. But I really hope that Plarium sees this video and they don't take it as something meant to be like attacking them, because again, they have really talented people that have done great stuff. But just like, please, in 2025, make it a point to prioritize quality of life stuff. I don't need 7 new champions every month or two. I need the champions that are existed to be buffed in a reasonable fashion, in a reasonable timeline. And I also need the game mechanics in this game that don't work or that could be improved and make people want to play it more and spend more to actually be fixed. Like, where are the live arena improvements? Where's classic arena improvements or blind platinum arena? There are so many things that could be done to make Raid appeal to more players, to appeal more strongly to the current base, that are in the best interest of Plarium, because people will spend more, as well as in content creators like myself that have built essentially a business off of this game, that Plarium just seemingly refuses to do. So that's where I'm at. No spending for January, guys. And look, I'm sure a lot of people watch this video and be like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? And if that's your reaction, totally valid, totally understand it. But if you're one of the people that is as frustrated as I am with how things have gone this past year and the seeming lack of really listening to community and creator feedback and actually implementing the changes that everyone can agree are beneficial for the game, for some reason desire not to do those things, the only way I can think of actually affecting positive change is to stop spending. And again, it's going to hurt my account. It's going to hurt my content creation. It certainly is not good for me on a business side of things from trying to grow my channel. But at some point, you have to put your foot down and just say, enough is enough. Enough is enough. And I won't continue to enable this kind of decision making. So if you feel the same way, I'd love to know in the comments down below. Are you considering maybe starting 2025 with a dry January yourself? Do you feel like maybe I'm overreacting? Do you agree with me that there are opportunities to make this game better, a game that I think so many of us are passionate about and love, and certainly nobody can question my passion for this game, whether it's been with my wallet or the time or the content creation or anything else. I have given an immense amount of attention to Raid over the last several years, and I would love for this game to reach its full potential, because I could argue that it hasn't even come close. But it really depends on Plarium deciding that they want to prioritize the quality of life improvements that this game desperately needs. And look,
all right, guys, so in the past few minutes, he's been just saying his frustrations and the lack of maybe active changes coming into the game. I'll put a link down to the full video for you guys to go and watch at your own pace, without all the cuts and edits, and give your own thoughts and maybe support to D-Rock in the sense of maybe your own reasons why he's free to play. You can also share them in my video if you want to say so, but I'll give you guys my thoughts on why I am a non-spender. First things first, this game is very expensive. I believe D-Rock is not doing this as his sole thing. He's not just a content creator. He does other things. I believe he has, you know, a real job as an voice actor. So he has other sources of income, allowing this to basically be like, okay, whatever the channel made, I'll spend. Okay, it's very possible he maybe does that. But the thing with this game is it can get very expensive, and it can get expensive fast. Pack offers of $100, and it's not like I've never seen higher than that, but like higher priced offers, but it's insane. $100, guys. I can go to a really good restaurant, have a good meal for two, let's say, and it's not even gonna be $100. At least in most of the countries that I've been in. I don't know what the prices are in the USA, but I can't imagine all restaurants are higher than that. Okay. You can have lots of meals. You can enjoy something that you love. The gym membership is like 50 euros or $50 or whatever. So there's a lot of things that you can spend that money and enjoy that more than this game. Not saying you don't spend on your hobbies. I do spend on my hobbies. This used to be a hobby that I spent a lot of money on, but I don't see the value in it. And the reason I don't see the value, I'll show you guys right now. I don't see the value in it anymore. It's why do we not have a system where our shards now work better because of the sheer amount of champions that we have? We have the progressive summoning system. Okay, yeah, but why has the mercy system not changed since then? I do not understand this. The mercy system, in my opinion, should have changed with every maybe increments of 100 champions that they've added into the game, making this a reality. Okay, because the sheer amount of legendaries, even mythicals at this point, we have like 20 mythicals or something in the game, is quite nuts. We need less champions, not more champions, but I can't imagine them deleting legendaries that are similar to each other or epics that are similar to each other. So when they release new champions, what happens is the shard offers that you see, they never become cheaper. Okay, the prices for most things, they've never become cheaper. The energy cost has never been, cheaper, and they keep on adding ways for us to spend our energy, like the Sand Devil dungeon, okay, like the Phantom Shogun. Those are insane energy, pits, in terms of how much energy you can spend in there. Secret shards have all of the shards have about the same price since forever. So when they keep on adding champions, this has been a problem since forever. It's basically each shard now is worth less. That's basically it. Okay. Same thing goes with your gems. The ways that you can spend your gems now, that's just you're more tempted to spend on everything as every patch goes through and something pops up where you can spend your gems and then finish this event, finish something like a tournament, try and get a champion, try to get a soul for a champion. Gems just go like crazy. Okay. Same thing goes with silver. You try to spend your silver to upgrade gear, to finish off CVC. So all of these, affect your account economy. And if you are somebody who's trying to just enjoy the game, you're gonna be spending everything, or you're gonna decide, oh, I'm gonna be skipping this event or a tournament, which kind of makes you disincentivized to enjoy the game in that way. So, in the same sense, what I'm saying is they need to apply changes. But my changes that I want to see from the game are different from what D-Rock says. D-Rock is basically saying more about PvP stuff, more on how end game PvP is going and how those big spenders decide to spend. And you want to see more immediate changes in those areas. But I believe the mid game area is where changes need to happen so that the gap between players is decreased a little bit. It's never going to be decreased to be, you know, there's going to be like an easy way to reach a player who's been playing for 5 years. Just this page right here, guys. The glyph page. Okay. A new player will never have this. Just this, like, and my speed glyphs are a few, like 500 4-star glyphs is just sheer amount of days played. So that cannot be bought in any way, by the way. But I'm just saying, there's no way for the new players to close off that gap of just having gear that won't have the glyphs, because they just need to just spend more days playing. It's all a big part of the game and how the game works. This was my reaction, guys, to D-Rock. Again, go check out the original video. Should you go free to play or not for the month of January? That's all up to you guys. For me, I'm staying free to play. I don't see a reason to purchase the He-Man pack, for example, the He-Man pass, the Forge passes. I do like the idea of, if you're gonna be spending $20, this is like a good, you know, way to get gear. If you want to spend 20, this will give you lots of gear for the game. But if you are somebody who doesn't understand on how the game works, the gear that you're gonna forge, you're not gonna know if it's good or not. So you'll be upgrading random stuff. So again, it's better to maybe boost your knowledge to the game, then come back and decide whether you're gonna be spending or not. But basically, shards, yeah, they become less valuable. Energy becomes more valuable as you play, and being patient is the most valuable in this game. Being patient with your resources. That's it, guys, for today. Thank you all. Links down below. I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.